Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Making 2. And unfortunately this is the last episode of What If Naruto Was Banished and got a supernatural ability, guys. Yeah, I know it's sad, but don't worry. And I do enjoy the support and all the likes, all the comments, everything that you have given to the series. Thank you all for your help and your support, guys. And as I say, don't be sad because you already know that new what ifs are coming. So yeah, just prepare yourself and I hope you enjoy each and every one of them. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Animaking and Animaking 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Animaking family. And thank you for all of your help and support. And remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So without further ado, what do you say we begin the final episode? Let's get straight into it. So, the last time we left off, Pakura and Temari brought Naruto, the two beginners, Maki and Yukata, as it was their first time, and they know that Naruto would treat them right. As the two girls told him that they heard that Temari and Pakura Senpai enjoyed a lot, so they would like to go with him as well. After having a lovely night with them, the group decided to leave after some time. As Naruto and his group headed off to deal with Obito, base of operation with all of the white Zetsus. Arriving there, Naruto bombed the entire place, blowing up all of the white Zetsus as he and his group flied out of there. But he was sure that the Gedo statue is still perfectly unharmed after what he saw about it in the memories of Obito. But for that is completely useless right now, seeing that he doesn't have any Bijus. As Naruto knew that if he probably told Shikaku, he'd go on a rampage and they didn't have anyone to seal it right now. So they just left him. Naruto knew that there was still pain out there, as he was the main threat right now, seeing that no one else was left. Well, except for a few members of the Akatsuki. But without the leader, the plan would soon fall apart. As they were heading off, Naruto had a vision, as he quickly rushed off with his team, as he came towards the fight to see Asuma and Shikamaru and the others fighting. As Naruto came there, as he faced off against Kakazu. After Kakazu brought out his 3 masked creatures, Naruto mobilized all of them, as Suigetsu and Jugo ripped them to pieces. Seeing that there was only one heart left, Naruto broke Kakazu, as he then gave Shikamaru a paper to give Tsunade. Some time passed after that as Tsunade and Shizune came to the site where Naruto told them to meet him, as it's been 3 years since they seen him, as the both of them hugged him rather tightly, happy to see him, as Naruto introduced his group to them as well. As he told them for now, he's gonna still be out there, but he told them that he's rebuilding also, as they wish him luck on that, as Tsunade wished that she could help him out. But Naruto understands the situation, as he then leaped off the rock saying his goodbyes. The group then decided to rest up for a while, as they came across Kurosaki and Akisaki, as Minato and Onihi had a secret alliance, as they brought the war to an end, but they kept it in secret, seeing most of the people would be in outrage at the Stone Village. And the future son of Minato Namikaze was to marry the granddaughter of Onihi, and that was Kurosaki. As they talked about it, as Kurosaki didn't see Naruto as a valuable mate at first, until she got to know him and saw how strong and wise he was. As they were having lunch along with Jiraiya there, an explosion rang off, as the group went out there to see. It was Kisame, as he was facing off against Roshi. As Naruto wondered where was Itachi, as after Roshi got defeated as Kisame absorbed his chakra, Suigetsu told Naruto that he will handle this, as he wanted to test himself against Kisame, as Naruto told him to go ahead. So yeah guys, so it's basically that's where we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So what do you say we begin this new episode? Karin Sai As Suigetsu was facing off against Kisame, Naruto, can you just finish this now, she asks. Suigetsu still have 1 minute left, Naruto said. I don't believe this, said Karen, rolling her eyes. As Naruto continued to watch patiently, while the others looked bored or ready to jump in to help Suigetsu. As the minute passed, time's up, Naruto said, as he flew in and threw a punch straight towards Kisame, then knocked him off his feet as he smashed into a boulder. Hey, Suigetsu shouted. Sorry Suigetsu, that was 5 minutes, Naruto said. As Suigetsu sighed, and I was having fun, he said. Sorry, but we can't afford to drag this out. Naruto then looked at Kisame. Where's Itachi? I was hoping that he should be here, after hearing my rustling with that other Jinchuriki over there, said Kisame. As Naruto looked him up and down, Kisame, I'm going to give you an option. Disband from the Akatsuki organization and join my cause. What? He said. I can end your life really easy, Naruto said, with just a snap of my finger, and you can't deny that. So then, will you join me, Naruto asked. I would rather die in honor, said Kisame. Wake up, Kisame. The Akatsuki organization has dropped like flies. Do you think you guys can actually win with me around? So join me, Kisame, because I don't want to kill you. And I told you already, I would rather be killed. Very devoted, Naruto said, but stupid. Is that your final answer? I already told you, I would rather die, Kisame said. I almost feel sorry for you, Naruto said, as he stretched out his hand, as Kisame could feel the psychic force tighten around his neck. He thrust Samehata straight after Naruto, as Naruto froze it in mid-air, and turned Samehata around, and thrust it back towards Kisame while holding him in the right position, as Samehata teared right through Kisame's chest. The sword burst through him and smashed into the boulder behind Kisame. As Naruto then snapped his hand, as Kisame's neck snapped, as his body dropped to the ground. Is he? Kurosaki said. Yes, said Jiraiya. Naruto then turned towards Suigetsu. I understand that you want to collect the 7 swords, but Samehata is the one that chose its wielder. So until you can find a worthy person to carry it, I'll have to seal it away, Naruto said, as he sealed it in a scroll. I understand, said Suigetsu. As Naruto walked over towards Kisame's corpse, you may have cowered out of facing me or the Akatsuki, but I'll still give you a proper send-off, as he set Kisame's corpse ablaze. When Kisame's body was nothing but a pile of ash, they all headed back. Once they were back in the inn, they were talking. I'm getting too old for this, Roshi said, as he cracked his back. Once you're kicking, you can never be too old for anything, said Jiraiya, as Roshi chuckled. Roshi-sama, how did you get into a brawl with the scourge of Kiri? Asked Kurosaki. He followed my chakra trail with his sword. He eventually found me meditating in the forest outside of this town. One thing led to another, and then boom, you guys showed up. You're lucky we did, said Suigetsu. As Naruto approached, so your name is Roji, huh? Yeah, and you? I'm Naruto. I'm also a Jinchuriki. You don't say, Roshi said. Yes, so you have the Yonbai sealed inside of you. Yes, and what has fate blessed you with, Roshi asked. I have the Kyuubi. His name is Kurama. Well, my Biju name is Son Goku. I'd like to meet him personally, Naruto said. You would? Sure, Naruto said, as he held out a fist. As Roshi held out a fist as well, as the both of them boomed fists. As they found themselves in the void with their Biju behind them. As Naruto looked up at the giant, 4-tailed gorilla. So that's Son, he said. That's correct. I am the handsome monkey king of the water screaming cave. The king of the sage monkeys. Bestowed the name of the sun by the sage of Six Paths. I am Son Goku, the great, equal in sage, heaven. He said that prideful laugh. Kurama rolled his eyes. So dramatic. You're quite annoying, you know that? You don't have to be such a wet blanket, Kurama, Son said. Hey, don't take it personal. That's how he greeted his other siblings. I can believe that, said Son. Still, it is good to see you again, Son, said Kurama. Yes, you too. Later that night, Naruto was on top of the building, as he was just looking up in the sky, as Kurosaki found him. Hey Naruto, everyone is going to the open-air bath. You coming? She asked. I'll be along in a minute, Kuro-chan, Naruto said, as he was deep in thought. Is something wrong? She asked, as she took a seat beside him. It's just... What? She asked. I just killed one of the last remaining members of the organization. Now there are 3 left. Once you defeat them, the ninja land, and the Jinchurikis will be safe, right? She asked. I'm trying to believe so, Naruto said. But someone else might come along and try to take the Jinchuriki powers and use them for their own. I just wonder if it is meant to be. For me and all my fellow Jinchurikis to be on the hide, or running from the Akatsuki. Don't say that, Naruto, she said. For as long as I've known you, I realize that you never think twice about being accepted as a Jinchuriki. You said so yourself. Killer Bee and Yujito of their village have gained their respect. And the Kazekage, who was also a Jinchuriki. I believe eventually you will also find peace as they did. Naruto smiled. Thanks, Kura-chan, he said. She smiled. Anytime. And thanks for helping Roshi-sama. As she pulled him into a kiss, which he returned. When they parted, she headed off back to join Karen in the open baths. After a good 2 minutes passed. Have you been around here long, Naruto said, as Itachi arrived in a flock of crows. Long enough, he said, as he had a seat next to Naruto. So did you really allow Kisame to handle Roshi on his own? Naruto asked. Kisame wanted that way. I see. What about you? What will you do now that you don't have a partner to hide secrets from? And now that there's only Pain and Konan left. I am leaving it now, Itachi said. Really? Naruto said. Yes, with the Obito gone and Kisame dead, I have no reason to keep this facade up. But I know eventually Pain and Konan will seek me out and try to do away to me for my betrayal. So wherever I go, it has to be some place where they will never think of me to go. Problem is, I've been with them for so long, they will know exactly my kind of tactics. But they don't know your ties with me, Naruto said. So I know a place you can hide out. Where? Itachi asked. The ruins of Uzo. They wouldn't think you of all people choose a place like that. Itachi pondered. It may actually be perfect. Thank you, Naruto, he said. He then stood up. I'll catch you later, he said. Later, Naruto said, as Itachi vanished. As Naruto went inside, as he went to the baths. Meanwhile, in the hidden rain, Konan entered. Nagato. He turned. Yes, he said. I've just received intel. Kisame has fallen in battle. Against the Jinchuriki? Said Pain. Yes, but not the Yanbai. Who? It was the Kyuubi. Naruto? Pain said. Yes, and I don't think Itachi's coming back, she said. What do you mean? He asked. He was nowhere near Kisame's point. Pain frowned. No, it's just you and I, Konan, he said. What do we do now? She said. We should have done this from the start. We need Naruto. But we can't seal him until the others are sealed as well. You don't need to worry. We will just play him right into our hands and allow him to collect the Jinchurikis for us until the time has come. How are you going to convince him to do that? She asked. You forget, Konan. I am very persuasive. That may be, but how can we find him? We won't. We're going to bring him to us. How? She asked. By attacking Konoha. Konoha? But why would he come to help them? After all, they were the one that threw him out. He may have been exiled, but if my hunches are correct, he would gladly do anything to help those that are close to him. I understand, Konan said. Good, prepare yourself. We will head out when the time is right. She nodded and left as Pain continued to look out to the rainy village. Naruto, you've been a thorn in the Akatsuki's side for far too long, Pain said. Time skip. At Uzo, Naruto, Suigetsu, and Karen and Jugo were showing Itachi around in one of the old buildings as they fixed up inside, so it looked homey. It had chairs, beds, table, and other essentials. Well, Itachi, make yourself at home, Naruto said. Thank you, Itachi said, as he took a seat. Soon the five of them were sitting at the table, enjoying dinner. This is very good, Itachi said. Thanks, Jugo and I made quite a meal, Naruto said. So what are we doing tomorrow? Suigetsu asked Naruto. You know, I haven't even thought about it. Why don't we just kick back and relax here? We deserve a break from all the traveling and fighting we have been doing lately. I'm all for that, said Jugo. Same here, said Karen. Enjoying myself while relaxing. That would be awesome, said Suigetsu. I could use a break for myself, said Itachi, after traveling constantly with Kisame. And be on high alert. I could take some time to relax. Perfect, Naruto said. Later that night, everyone was sleeping, as Naruto was having a dream. No, it was a premonition. As he saw Pain and the other bodies, they were heading towards Konoha. As he jumped up and walked towards the window, as the moon was shining bright. Kurama, was it a dream or a premonition? Naruto asked. I do not know. After all, you got them so many times. It's hard to determine if that was a dream or a vision. I know, but what if it wasn't a dream? Naruto said. I think you've been doing all this fighting for so long. You're starting to worry yourself, said Kurama. Maybe, but still. Look, try and get some sleep and rest. And don't think about the Akatsuki for once. I guess you're right, he said, as he returned back to bed. The next morning, the group was relaxing. Didn't I tell you guys that taking the day off today was the perfect thing to do? Countless times Shigetsu said the roll of his eyes, as Naruto chuckled until he froze, as he got another premonition. It was the same one, as Pain and his path were on their way to Konoha. He suddenly snapped out of his vision and screamed, "No!" As the fourth then looked towards him. Naruto, what's wrong? Asked Karin. Was it a vision? Asked Itachi. Last night I thought I was having a dream, but it was really one of my missions. What did you see? Said Shigetsu. It was Pain and his other bodies. They were heading towards Konoha. What? The group said. Itachi scowled. It looked like Pain has taken another approach to locating you by bringing you to him. So it's a trap to lure him back to the village, said Karin. It must be, said Itachi. Well, he's just wasting his time, said Shigetsu. There is no way Naruto is going back there. I am, Naruto said. What? Said Shigetsu. Despite my hatred for those people, I still have very close friends. To me, there. I can't let them just die, Naruto said. But still, after all that village did to you, Shigetsu asked. It wasn't the village itself. It was those who got me banished, Naruto said. Even so, why help it at all? I'm not doing it for those who got me banished, but for the innocent lives Pain will take to get to me. Can't your own allies from Konoha handle it, said Shigetsu. If it were against the other members, yes. But against Pain, they're out of your league, said Itachi. Naruto looked at his team. I'm sorry guys, but I have to stop him. Not alone you're not, said Jugo. I'm coming. I am as well, said Karin. Shigetsu sighed. Even though after what you told me about them, if you're going, I'm going as well. Guys, Naruto said, you know it will be far more dangerous than any battle I've been in. Still not stopping us, Karin said. As Naruto looked towards Itachi, what about you? I can't step foot in Konoha any more than you are allowed now. Besides, you do find out my help. Okay then, Naruto said. If you haven't heard word from us by sundown though, you may assume. Don't worry, I have confidence that you will pull through. Got that right, said Shigetsu. Come on guys, as Naruto called for the carpet, as he levitated all of them away. As Itachi watched them headed off, good luck guys, he said. Meanwhile in Konoha, the members of the barrier team gasped. Some intruders have entered the village through the barrier. We need to report this Nadisama right away. Before they could make it, a giant orange centipede poofed in the room. You're not going anywhere, as it was the animal path standing there. That robe! It's the Akatsuki! One of the barrier members gasped. Move, the head member said, as they leaped away before the centipede could strike them. The animal path went through hand sign as he summoned a giant dog and a giant rhino in the village. The two beasts started a rampage through the village, destroying everything that came in their path. All over the village, Konoha shinobis were fending off against Pain and his path bodies, while some of the younger shinobis were leading the civilians to safety. Sadly to say, the Konoha shinobis with their best efforts were barely making an impact on the 6 paths of Pain. On top of a rooftop stood Koharu and Homura as they looked onto the village with pure horror. Their own ninjas were being killed off one by one. You know why this is happening, don't you? Said Koharu. It's obvious. He's trying to lure out Naruto to take him. But he won't come, will he? After all we did to him, I won't be surprised, said Homura. Who would have guessed that one little act would result in all of this, said Koharu, as they watched a beast tour through the village. It seems in our years we were the only one that lost our way. Indeed, Hiruzen was the one to follow in the ways of our sensei, and the first. We let the thoughts of preserving peace blind us to do risky, stupid things. And that shall be your downfall. As they turned to see Tendo Pain behind them. Before they could say anything or do anything, Pain extended his arms out. Thrusting 2 metal rods, it tear right through the two elders' heart. The two coughed up blood before their eyes rolled in the back of their head, as their body went limp and fell off the building. As Pain looked all over the village, seeing the destruction happening, it's only a matter of time. So where are you, Naruto? He said. Meanwhile, Tsunade and Jiraiya stood on the building at Hokage's tower. Jiraiya, we have no choice now. Right. As the both of them was about to enter the fray until a voice spoke up. Don't worry about it. As they looked up to see a carpet flying above their heads. As Naruto and his team dropped down. We'll take it from here. Naruto, what are you doing here? Tsunade said, as she was surprised to see him. You know the only reason Pain is here is because of you, Jiraiya said. I am not about to let myself be the cause of all your life. As Naruto slammed his hand together, as a golden chakra exploded around him, as he entered the full chakra mode. Guys, help protect the villagers. I'll go after the pains. As the three nod then took off, while Naruto summoned multiple clones. In the village, Kakashi, Sakura, and Team Guy were squaring off against two of the path, the human path and the hell path. As the group was rather exhausted, Sakura was trying to heal them, but not fast enough. Now it's time for you to die, human path said. But the both of them were blown away as they smashed into the wall. What was that, Tenten said, until two of Naruto clones floated down to the ground level. Are we too late? One of them asked. Naruto said Sakura. You came, said Kakashi. I'll always come back when my friends need me, the second one said. The two paths got up as they stood their ground. So you have come at last, the hell path said. We've been waiting for you, said the human path. I bet you have, because I've been waiting to do this. As the two clones created rustling shurikens, as they leaped up in the air and dashed forward, launching the jutsu with incredible speed. As it exploded outwards in a massive explosion. Naruto destroyed them, Lee said. Elsewhere in the village, Asuma, Shikamaru, Ino, and Choji were scoring off against Pain, Robot Path, as he was firing lasers from his fingertips and all over his body. This is more troublesome than I thought, Shikamaru said as he dodged some of the lasers. No time for your lazy attitude, Shikamaru, said Ino. We just have to hold our ground, said Asuma. But for how long, Choji asked. Long enough until I arrive. As Naruto landed. It's Naruto, Ino said. No way, said Shikamaru. As the robot passed out to fire lasers at Naruto, as he dodged and flipped over after them. As three arms came from his back from the yellow cloak and rushed towards the path. The path tried to destroy them with lasers, but once he destroyed one of them, it then separated as another arm expanded and grabbed him around the waist. The other two grabbed him by his two arms and started to pull. As they ripped it off, as Naruto appeared in a flash right in front of his face and drive a Rasengan right into his chest that sent him flying back and a booming explosion. 3 down, 3 more to go, Naruto said. Meanwhile, Hinata, Kiba, and Shino was at a loss as one of the paths in front of them suddenly came to a stop when they were fighting him. All of the chakra rods started to pluck out of his body. When all the rods were out, the body fell down lifeless. What just happened, said Kiba as he didn't know. I happened, said the Naruto clone that appeared. Naruto, Hinata cheer. Figures, Kiba said as he rolled his eyes. Meanwhile, with the real Naruto, he was facing off against the animal path, as he saw he was using these creatures to cause the most destruction. I'm afraid you and your pets have to go. I think not, as all the creatures went towards Naruto, but Naruto flew up in the air, as a giant bird came down towards him. But Naruto stood perfectly still in the air. As the bird got close, Naruto snapped his eyes open. Now, infused with Sage mode, he grabbed the bird by the beak and swinged him with so much force, he sent him sailing up into the air. As Naruto then extended a chakra arm that grabbed onto the bird, pulling him back down, straight into a big ball Rasengan. As he smashed it into him, the bird poofed away. As Naruto looked down at the animal path. Your summons can't protect you from me, Naruto said. As he thrust out his hand, the animal path was pulled straight towards him. As the chakra arms wrapped around him and squeezed him so tight, as it ripped his body into half, dropping it down to the ground. 5 down, 1 left to go, Naruto said. Naruto! As Naruto turned to see the main Pain, as he was high up in the air looking down on him. As Naruto flew up to Pain's level, you skillfully managed to take out my bodies, but now it's time I take you out. As he smashed his hand together, Shibaku Tensei, he said, as he launched a black ball from his arm, as the ground started to break apart, floating up towards the ball. Now you're mine, Pain said, as Naruto felt his body being pulled up into it. He tried to fly away, but the force pulling him was so strong. Kurama, Bichu bombed, Naruto said, as Kurama formed the chakra of the 9-tailed fox around Naruto's body, until the spear started to arrive at his mouth. As he released the Bichu bomb that went into the dead center. No, Pain cried as he shielded himself from the incoming debris, as the thing made contact with a massive boom, exploding Pain's attack. Gotcha. As Pain's eyes widened as he realized Naruto was above him, as he smashed a giant Rasengan straight into his stomach. Pain's body was sent spiraling down into the ground as he crashed with a boom. As Segetsu, Chugo, and Karen arrived, as Naruto landed beside the final path. "You alright?" asked Karen. As Naruto nodded. "What about you guys?" "Don't worry, we're fine," said Segetsu, as Naruto popped all of the rods out of the body. He then tossed one of them to Karen as she caught it. "Track the user's location." He sent in chakra to them. "Oh, okay," she said, as she held the rod in her hands and started to concentrate. As she spun around, I got a lock. "Where?" "That way," as she pointed in the direction of the forest. Naruto was about to fly off. "Wait a minute," said Segetsu. "You're going to face real pain alone?" "I have to. I'm the only one who can possibly understand him." "You're making no sense," said Karen. "I'll let you guys know later," Naruto said, as he flew off. Suddenly, Snavy and Jiraiya appeared. "What happened?" Jiraiya asked. "Where's Naruto?" said Snavy. "He's gone off to face real pain," said Jugo. As the both of them looked out to see Naruto, the back of him flying off into the forest. As it took Naruto mere seconds to get there, as he was flying fast, as he was in sage mode, as he could sense them inside. As Naruto arrived at the tree and shoved his hand out as an opening was made. He stepped inside as he saw Conan standing there. Next to the mechanical walker, the man was in it. His skin looked pale and it looked like he was low on food. Well, seeing that he was giving out his chakra to all those 6 bodies, it must have taken a toll on him. "Pain, or would you like me to call you Nagato?" Naruto asked. "So you know my real name?" said Pain. "Yeah, I know you and Conan from Erosenin. You two were students once." "All in the past," Nagato said. "A past that I buried. Look, whatever you have planned, you should just save yourself the trouble, because it's all over." "How wrong you are, it will never be over. The war will continue, as long as hate exists in this world. I made it my goal to eliminate that hate. This is why I've come this far. So, the best thing for you to do right now is to join us." "What?" Naruto said. "Join us, and we will bring peace to this ninja land together." "I'd rather rot in hell than help you in your psycho plot," Naruto said. "There is that hate, the kind that brew from war. You saw the amount of casualties that I caused this village. You do anything to me and that will only continue and strengthen the seeds of war. Someone else would grow and take my place. It doesn't matter. The hatred will continue." "You seriously must have had a messed up life," Naruto said. "But I want to see truly why." "Please work," Naruto said. As he looked directly into Nagato's eyes, a psychic force was pushed from Naruto's eyes that shot right into Nagato's eyes. As the both of them looked at each other, it was like a couple of seconds, but Naruto saw everything. Everything about Nagato's life, about Yaiko, about Jiraiya leaving them, Yaiko's death, about Hanzo, everything, up to this day. As Nagato staggered a bit. "What did you do to him?" Conan asked. "I did nothing but look through his memories," Naruto said. "You what?" Nagato said. "Yes, I saw everything." "So, if you have, you understand why I've done all of this?" "Yes, but it wasn't your best course of action. It's sad what happened to Yaiko, all because of Danzo talking to Hanzo into betraying your trust. Still, you turned into what you are today, makes you no better than them. Erosenin believed that one day I'd find peace. I'm not gonna tarnish his words by just ruthlessly killing you." Nagato scowled. "That's it? After all what happened, that's it? You expect me to wait for peace? That is what you don't understand. There will never be true peace so long as hatred and war exist in this cruel world." "In that case," Naruto said that smile, "I'll break that curse. If there is something as true peace, I will hunt it down and I'll find it, and I'll never give up." As Nagato was taken aback by those words. "Those words, they are..." "Yes, the words used in Erosenin's very first novel. He believed that it was the first path towards peace, and he credited you, Nagato, as the one who provided him with such inspiration. He made the character model after you, and it was named after him," Naruto said. "Erosenin book, and the name that I was given is precious to me, and I will not forsake them. I will find a way to bring peace to ninja lands, somehow. I know it won't be easy, but I will search and search and search until I find this peace. So from one disciple to another, I ask you to have faith in me." After Naruto's speech, Nagato cracked a smile You know, you remind me of my younger self. You truly are a curious one, much like how I used to be. I wasn't able to continue to believe in Jerry-sensei's words, but your words have caught my attention. I think this time I'll believe in you, Naruto. As he slammed his hands together, right intensely. As Konan looked at him, Nagato, no! What is going on, Naruto asked. That jutsu he's using, it allows him to revive the dead, but it requires a large amount of chakra. You don't have enough to survive this, she said, as she watches his hair turn white. It's okay, Konan. I've done a lot of terrible things in the past. May this last act be my redemption. As he strained. So you're reviving everyone in the village, Naruto said. Yes. If I can make a request. I saw you kill 2 people, and I request they stay dead. As a way for them to live with their guilt, Naruto said. I already know who you're talking about. I accept your request, but I also wish to make one to you as well. What is it? When my heart gives out, I want you to take my eyes. What? Naruto said. Konan gasped. Nagato, I feel these eyes are much safer with you. I wonder if this was planned out from the start, for us to meet and for us to have this conversation. Because I truly believe that you can change this world and bring it to a true path of peace. As Naruto smiled at him, as Nagato smiled back. Goodbye, Konan, said Nagato, as he gave her a smile. Naruto, I leave it in your hands, he said, as his body went limp. Afterwards, Konan dispersed a tree as she wrapped the body of Yaiko and Nagato in papers. So you're going back to the rain, Naruto asked. Yes, and I'm taking them back with me. But still, with the both of them dead, I'm returning alone, she said with a sad tone. You will never be alone, Konan. As long as you hold these 2 close to your heart, they will always be with you. And since I'm following their path, I'm gonna be there for you as well. Really? She asked. Yes. And if you ever need someone to talk to, just seek me out, Naruto said. Thank you, she said. You're welcome, Naruto said. I trust that you will take good care of his eyes. I promise, Naruto said to her. Konan smiled. Then I'll see you around, she said as she created paper wings on her back, as she flew off with her 2 friends. As Naruto slowly made his way back to the village, he came to a shock when he saw everyone was there, everyone that Nagato revived. Welcome back, Naruto, said Kakashi. What? Why is everyone here, Naruto asked. Well, we told them all that you went to face real pain, and you know how fast gossip spreads, said Sugetsu with a smirk. Suddenly, Naruto's bombarded by children coming up to him asking him questions about what happened, and his friends as well. Are these really the same villagers who looked down on my existence once? Naruto wondered. It seems that way, said Kurama. Well, the kids, well, they didn't know about you, but most of the adults are kissing up to you, trying for you to forget what happened in the past. I'll worry about that later, Naruto said. Uzumaki, Naruto, a voice said, snapping him from his thoughts. So much for being over, said Kurama. Suddenly, he was surrounded by several envoys. You're under arrest. You gotta be goddamn kidding me, Naruto said. What do you mean under arrest, Naruto said in outrage. You violated your banishment by stepping foot in Konoha, one of the envoys explained. Naruto shook his head. I just saved your asses and saved this village from total destruction. And you're real telling me this. Law is law, the envoy said. You will stand down this moment, said Snavy. Don't worry, Bachan, it's obvious that these are Danzo's lackeys. Speaking of him, I want to have a talk with him. I'm already here, said Danzo as he approached, making his envoys make way for him. Drop the act, you old flunky. It's bad enough you got me banished from the village, but you send your envoys after me countless times. The villagers gasped at Naruto's accusation. And what proof do you have of this? Danzo asked. Oh, plenty of proof, Naruto said. But first, a wave then shot from Naruto's eye and shot into Danzo's. As Naruto sought to see every one of Danzo's memory, everything, even when he spoke to Hanzo to betray Nagato, the council, and everything. The secret meetings with Itachi, and all the envoys' order to track him down and kill him. As Naruto snapped out of it and stepped back. You're even worse than I thought. What is going on? Asked Navi. Everyone, Naruto said. I'm about to share some real history with all of you. As Naruto let out a psychic wave, as it smashed into everyone, he left out everything with Itachi, seeing that he promised Itachi. as every one of Danzo's heinous acts and everything was spilled out right in front of their eyes. When he stopped, everyone was confused. What we all saw, was that real, said Ino. It was, said Jiraiya, as he frowned, seeing what Danzo started, leading for Nagato to turn corrupted. Konoha! This man, Danzo Shimura, is guilty of several accounts of treason against Konoha and other nations. As you witness, he coaxed Hanzo of the Salamander of the Hidden Rain to betray the one known as Nagato that led him to become Pain, all for the selfish desires of becoming Hokage. Don't believe him. Take him, said Danzo to the envoys. But Jiraiya used his swamp underworld and trapped all of them and pulled them down into it. As Naruto continued, even after then he acted in the shadows, using unauthorized mission to strengthen his forces. You also tried to convince Gigi that you can take me under your wing and turn me into a living weapon. But when it all came down to it, you realized you couldn't use me as a weapon, so you wanted to murder me. That was to keep you out of the Akatsuki's hands, Danzo said. By killing me? Naruto shouted. Desperate times call for desperate measures. The second Hokage was right to name Gigi the Hokage instead of you, Naruto said. Danzo frowned. You're trying my patience, boy. Good, because thanks to me everyone know what kind of man you are. You probably just alter those memories to frame me, Danzo said. Wishful thinking, however I cannot manipulate memories into false ones. I can just show them the others. Well, this was my first time doing the second one actually, Naruto said. Game's up, Danzo, said Snazzy. Danzo stepped back as he pulled his arm out of his shirt, but he looked rather pale, as he fired wind bullets at all of them, as Naruto flew up in the air as they dodged it. Too slow, Danzo, Naruto said. I still have a chance, Danzo said, as he was about to rip off the bandages off his eye, but he found himself stuck, as he was lifted up into the air, as Naruto squinted as he saw a 3-tomo Sharingan. That doesn't belong to you. As he squeezed his hand, the eye popped like a balloon as blood squirted out. My eye, Danzo said. Naruto opened Danzo's mouth with his psychic as he created a mini Rasen Shuriken, say ah, as he thrust it inside and closed Danzo's mouth. As the jutsu destroyed Danzo's body from the inside, as Naruto made his body drop to the ground at thud, as everyone around was shocked. As Naruto waited, but suddenly they started to cheer and applaud for putting the end to someone that might be the death of their village, as he turned to see Snazzy smiling at him. It wasn't long as Naruto was walking through the village, as he saw the village being repaired. Feeling nostalgic, Naruto, Kurama asked. Yeah, I guess so. 3 years since you've been here. It would be troublesome if you did not. And there's not really anything different. Well, there's that, Naruto said, as he looked up to see Snazzy's face on the Kage's mountain. Naruto's that voice, as Naruto turned to see Konohamaru, Mogi and Udon running towards him. Oh hey guys, Naruto said. We missed you. We missed you, boss. The three of them shouted. I missed you guys too, Naruto said. Right here, it suits you, Mogi said. Thanks. So are you coming back, Udon asked. Well, I haven't decided anything yet, Naruto said. I hope so. I miss not having you around, said Konohamaru. As Naruto smiled, I miss you too, he said. Well, we better get going. Ebisu Sensei have a job for us, said Konohamaru. See ya, Naruto said as they went off. As Naruto created a clone, head back to Uzu and tell Itachi what happened. Naruto, he then saw Kakashi and Sakura approach. Hey you guys, Naruto said. Snazzy-sama sent us to fetch you for the meeting, said Kakashi. Well then, let's go. Later in the Hokage's office, Naruto was standing before all of his old friends. As Jiraiya, Iruka, Shizune, Snazzy, all of them were there. Naruto, in light of all of these defense, you have proven that you are a dedicated Konoha shinobi. And with the passing of Danzo, Koharu and Homura, I would proudly say I'm revoking your banishment, she said. Really? He said. Yes, she said, you can come home now. As they saw the look on his face. What's wrong, said Tenten. He must be in pure shock that he can come home. He doesn't have any words to say. He's at loss for words, said Lee. It's not that, said Naruto. Believe me, I'm happy to hear that I'm no longer a banished ninja. But the fact is I can't stay here. What? They all said. What do you mean? Iruka asked. I've missed this place and all of you, but I find a new home. A home I'm trying to bring back to life. Also, Jiraiya said. Yes, I want to restore to the former glory for my mom and all the Uzumaki members. Karin nodded in agreement. Naruto, is that really what you want? Sakura asked. As Naruto nodded, it is. It's all I've wanted for these last 3 years. Well then, said Tsunade, with a proud smile on her face. If that is what you truly want, we won't stop you. And we of Konoha will help you in any way we can. Thanks, Bachan, Naruto said. Later that day, the guard tapped on the bars in the prison holding cell. Sasuke Uchiha, you have a visitor. Sitting up on the bed was Sasuke, as Naruto hasn't seen him since he brought him back. He was wearing a Konoha jailer uniform. When he saw who was outside his cell, all he could do was smirk. Naruto, he said. Sasuke, said Naruto. As the guard left, I heard 3 years ago after a fight you were banished, Sasuke said. Yes, I was. So why are you here? Sasuke asked. Bachan was finally able to lift the banishment cast on me. Know that the 3 corrupted members of council are dead. Now she's looking to get new members on board. Honest, working members. I see, Sasuke said. But the reason why I was here is because the village was under attack. So that what was going on outside, Sasuke said. Yes, I defeated the threat and now the villagers welcome me back. Lucky you, Sasuke said in a dry humor. Well, I didn't come here to gloat. I just came here to let you know all of this could have been avoided if you didn't let your ego and your superiority over things cloud in your mind. I agreed, Sasuke said. Listen to me for once. I know you don't like to hear it, but wait, what did you just say? I agree with you, Naruto, Sasuke said to him. Ooh, agree with me? Just like that, he asked. Spending 3 years of my chakra sealed off and locked up gave me a chance to reflect on my actions, and I saw what a fool I've been. Kakashi was right about me. Being too obsessed about vengeance would drive me to lose everything, and if I had succeeded, I would have nothing left. Now just look where I am. If I couldn't beat you with Orochimaru's power, how would I even have a hope to defeat Itachi? For what it's worth, you'd have probably gained the strength to fight him. Thanks, I guess. So what are you gonna do now? Become Hokage and know that you're welcome back in Konoha? On the contrary, I'm going to establish my own ninja village and become its leader. Maybe if I make it strong enough, it will become the 6th great nation. Well, good luck with that. But can you promise me something? Sure, what is it, Naruto said. If you ever come across Itachi, kill him for me. Do this for me, that's my last request to you. Naruto thought about this as he knew Itachi never wants Sasuke to find out about the Uchiha secret. Alright, Sasuke, I will, Naruto said. Well, I'll see you around, Sasuke. Hope the guards here take good care of you. They have so far, Sasuke said, as he watched Naruto leave. Later on, as Tsunade stood on the balcony with Naruto at her side and everyone gathered, as she announced, thanks to all your hard work, our village will be better than before, she said, as everyone applauded. But I think the thanks to go to someone who you all took for granted, she said, Naruto. As Naruto approaches, everyone applauded. As they calmed down, thank you everyone, Naruto said. You know, at first, I thought being banished from Konoha was the worst thing to happen to me. But I realized it gave me a chance to look past what I was and discover what I truly am. Was I just some simple shinobi from a village, or something more than that? And I discovered this. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. I'm more than a ninja. I'm a human being just like all of you, and everyone else in the world. I found out that the village was going to be attacked by the Akatsuki. I was torn in coming here, or ignoring it. After all, certain people here conspired to have me banished. And I know that there were plenty of you who would have sided with them. Many of the villagers got a guilty look on their face. But I came anyway, because whether I was banished or not, this is my home. I have forgiven you all for how you treated me. But if you really want me to trust you, like a person, you have to do more than call me a hero for saving the village. You want my trust, then you should start treating me like I'm somebody, not just a ninja or hero. Do that and it may be a step in the right direction for you. However, I don't plan to return to Konoha. Many villagers are confused until he continued. I plan to start my own ninja village and hopefully start an alliance between it and Konoha. So make no mistake, I will continue to visit Konoha. And one day, I will be leading my own village. As everyone cheered. Later on in the night, Tsunade was in a doctor gown. As she was looking down at Naruto. Are you sure you want me to do this? She asked. I am, Naruto said. I will be a bridge between both Konoha and the rain. Plus, I promised someone that I'll look after them. Okay then, Tsunade said, as she applied the anesthesia. The next morning, Naruto's friends and team waited for him as he appeared with Tsunade. As he stood with bandages wrapped around his eyes, everyone ready to go, he asked his team. Naruto, what happened to you? Asked Hinata. along with Sakura. Oh, nothing to worry about, Naruto said. I just had a little procedure last night. What kind of procedure? Asked Choji. Afraid I can't tell you yet, but I will soon, he said, as they decided not to push it. Yeah, we're ready, said Shigetsu. So where are you going, Kakashi said. Oh, we're going to Mount Miyaboku to relax there, until I can get these bandages off. After that, I will hire Tazuna and the others to come work on Uzu. You just be careful out there, said Sakura. I will, Sakura, he said, as he felt Hinata Tenten and Ino embrace him in a hug. We hope to see you soon, Ino said as she kissed him. Yeah, take care of yourself, Tenten said as she kissed him next. And don't forget about us, Hinata said as she kissed him as well. I could never forget about any of you even if I wanted to, he said, that big smile on his face. Time skip. 10 years later. After the incident in Konoha, Naruto kept true to his word as he hired Tazuna and the builders, as they were able to make new, stronger buildings for Uzu. Once he was finished constructed, Naruto invited all of those he welcomed into his village. There was Sesame, Kodaheim, and the Fuma clan. Aisuraibe, Minzu, and Chao relocated the Luayen into Uzu. Saiko, the waitress who worked at the Hidden Grass. Shizuka even offered to send some of the Netsuko village Kunoichi to Uzu to help strengthen the alliance between Netsuko and Uzu. Over the years, Naruto found lost and weary travelers looking for a place called home. After doing a routine mind scan on them, he welcomed them into his village. Whenever such people like Shin, Koyoki, Shizuka were in Uzu on official business, they talk about business, and then he had down personal time with them, and even Hotaru, who would accompany me, and other officials like Gaara, and Shibuki, and Oniki, who would visit. They always bring Temari, Pakura, Samui, Taru, Yujito, and Fu as they visit as well, and Kurosaki visit with her grandpa. Sugetsu eventually returned to Kiri so he can work on bringing forth a new group of 7 ninja swordsmen, as Mei welcomed him with open arms. Itachi left the shinobi life and just relaxed at Uzu, where he planned to die by old age. He made sure to not be seen by anyone of Konoha or other nations who were visiting. Over time, Uzu started to grow a large term of strength. Eventually grew so strong the daimyos realized that it was on the par to be one of the great nations, making Naruto to become Uzukage. As we now have 10 years later. Good, Naruto's arrived, we can finally begin with today's meeting, said Tsunade, as they were at Akage's meeting. As Tsunade was there with Shikamaru and Sakura. Mei was there with Kojiro and Shigetsu, as B became the 5th Raikage, as he was there with Samui and Amoy. As Gaara was there along with Temari and Kankuro, and Kurosaki was there as she took over for her grandpa, as she was there with Akasaki, another shinobi. As Naruto walked over and took a seat as the Uzukage, as Naruto no longer had his normal eyes, as his right eye was Obito Sharingan and his left eye was Nagato Rinnegan. Now ladies and gentlemen, let's talk business, he said. And yeah guys, I'm gonna be ending this episode right here. And like I said, don't be sad guys, because you know new series are gonna be coming out and they're gonna be awesome as usual. So stay tuned for them, and yeah, for now I'm out. Peace.